Well, before I can replace the rotors and calipers and the rest of the front brake parts, I need to make sure that it can roll properly. And so in this video, I'll be showing how to repack the bearings in the hubs with new grease and put it all back together to get ready for the new rotors. Okay, so now that we have the hub out here, we've got, obviously our front bearing just falls right out. It's held on by this little washer, stop washer nut. And we've already inspected the races. We know what we're just gonna reuse the existing hub and bearings. The bearings seem good. It looks like some of them are Chinese, or some of them have been obviously replaced at some point. So we need to get the rear one out because I am going to replace this bearing seal here. I got new ones. And so when I did the other one, I was trying to figure out how to do this. I think the best way that I saw is to get a big screwdriver, a big kind of demolition screwdriver, and kind of get it up under here, and then basically kind of hold on to it and just kind of strike it and try to get it to unseat it. And I had varying luck with the other one. I did get the other one out. But what I ended up having to do, oh, now I got it. There it goes. I was going to say, what I ended up having to do the other one also, if it's really stubborn, is take a little bit sharper of a smaller screwdriver, and I actually hit it from the inside and kind of warped it a little bit, and that made it kind of come free easier. But okay, so now we can get the larger rear bearing out, and you can see all that grease and grossness in there. So basically what I did on the other one is I sprayed it down with brake parts cleaner, my cleaning box, and cleaned out all the old grease, wire brushed, you know, around the outside, and just basically cleaned it all up. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to do that on camera though, but you can imagine what I'm doing. So I'm going to clean this up, but we'll come back in. Okay, so I got everything cleaned up. Just basically jetted everything out, wiped everything out with brake parts cleaner. Got the bearings reasonably clean, just jetted them out with brake parts cleaner. And just made sure there's no just sticky, gross stuff in there. I got the new seal here. I'll give you the part number if that shows up. So here's the seal. So we're going to start with the rear bearing here. So we're going to start by packing it. Now, I had a question about what type of grease to use. And the only thing I could figure out is I'm using just this. Really, I think NLGI GCLB rated, which means They can consider this EP, or extended pressure lubricating grease, as well as this NLG number 2. So anything that has kind of those numbers on it, it's considered a lithium complex base grease, and it's made for wheel bearings, high temp, high pressure, whatever. Should work. I mean, this wasn't the most expensive grease, but I couldn't really tell the difference between this and, you know, a product made by, Lucas Oil or Royal Purple. I mean, they're all just kind of had the same ratings. But that's kind of what I looked at. These are like, it's just a red grease. So let's start with the rear bearing here. I'm just going to, I guess this is how I learned to pack bearings. Hang on a second. My gloves are kind of gross. Let me clean these up real quick. Okay, that should work. All right, and then we'll just put some grease in the palm here. And I don't know if this is the best way to, well, maybe not with these type of bearings, but just kind of work it in there. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of grease. I know it looked like I used a lot, but in the end there's not much on the bearing. And I'm going to take a little bit of grease and just put it in the erase here. I'm going to drop the bearing down, wide side up always. We'll drop that into there. And then we got the seal, and the way I did the other one is I happen to have this socket here. I think I had to buy this because for my Spitfire. It's this SAE 1 13/16, and it fits pretty well. If you just kind of set the seal on here. This worked a lot better before. There we go. It fits pretty well right on that seal, so I can tap it in with that. I also feel like this is 1 13/16, which is a very odd size. I also think a 1 7/8, a little bit bigger, a 1/16 of an inch bigger would work as well, or whatever the equivalent metric is for that. I think Harbor Freight and auto shops also sell a disc brake kind of repair kit that has these bearing pullers and pushers, which would work as well. So that's what you need. So I'm going to set this on here. You know what? I'm going to grease all the inside of this. Okay. Yeah, my gloves are stuck in there. Alright, so I got it on there nice and smooth here. Now we're going to just put our big socket on there. Try to evenly tap it down. Till it seats. Alright, so that's seated, looking good. Now we can flip it over. And now I guess what I saw inside of this thing was just a big globs of grease. I've watched some other videos of people doing it, and they kind of do the same thing. So bigger glob of grease, and just get all up in the inside there. Okay. Not too much, but, you know, a decent dollop in there so it's all smeared around. Alright, now let's pack the front bearing. Okay, now we'll just drop that in here. Then I've already done this, but I've cleaned out the dust cap here. We'll go ahead and smear some in here. I don't think, might need to look to see if I need my the speedometer cable. I'm going to go ahead and look at that, but I'm going to smear a bunch of this in here, and I'm going to go and look for my speedometer cable, and then I'll rearrange the camera and show you how we put it all back together. Alright, we'll go ahead and put back on our cleaned and painted splash guard, dust guard, whatever these things are called. Okay, so the only thing I know about how to set this right is basically wiggle this washer. If you could wiggle it, then it's too loose. And this, I've got to remember it's going the opposite direction. So if you can wiggle it easily, it's too loose. If you can't wiggle it at all, then it's too tight. Okay, that's pretty good. It's a 6mm wrench, hex wrench here. So we'll go ahead and lock that down. There it goes. Okay. I don't think this is the right clip. It is not. Need to find the correct C-clip for that. Well, I found the correct C-clip and put the wheel back on. And that's the driver's side hub. I'll be putting out more videos of the the rest of the brakes in the next coming days. Thanks for watching.